The Wellness Show, episode 132.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the show, and I'm excited to have Shelley Darling back from the latest report from her sacred pilgrimage in Australia. So lots is happening. I'm sure I've heard about monsoons and rains and all sorts of things have been happening on your, I've heard through the grapevine or Facebook. So bring us up to date. So Shelley, what's up?
So good to be back with you, Tyson. We're just completed the journey, the Ancestral Bridge, Sacred Water Wisdom and Dowsing Journey. 2 weeks ending in Uluru on the full moon. And we were blessed to have Christian community priest and cosmologist, dowser, whale dreaming expert be with us, Martin Sampson. So we're all back and just, as I was telling Tyson, just chilling, just taking some time to integrate this journey. It was a huge journey, beginning with a huge flood. So
let's do that. I mean, you talked at the very beginning that it would be good to get everybody on the call centered and do the ceremony opening that you usually do while you're on the tour. So let's start with that.
Okay, so I want to just honor Julie Armstrong and Najma Ahern, who couldn't be with me today. We're all in different places now in Australia, as just spectacular and stunning individuals who really supported and co-created this journey with me, as well as just taking a moment, inviting everyone into the space of the inner and the outer ancestor, our return to wholeness, power, and wisdom. And in that, it's really important, as we discovered more and more, to just take the time to be in resonance and to breathe together, to feel into the collective heartbeat. So what's really important here is to remember that, yes, I am the light. I am an individual. And now the shift that's occurring on the planet is really about the sacred journey of we, of coming together and feeling this collective heartbeat that where it's imperative to really feel our feet on the ground and connected to our cosmology, inner and outer. So just taking a few breaths, breathing in the waters of our breath. That's where we're connected. That's where we can feel whole. Really soften our bodies to open into full presence and love, connection. And begin with gratitude. Gratitude for our surroundings. Gratitude for our family. Gratitude for the waters that connect us through our breath. When we're shaking hands with someone or holding someone's hands, that dampness that connects us, and the womb waters in which we all were birthed. That's what this journey was all about, the paying respects to that understanding and the land and her wisdom. It's breathing into that, softening. Just releasing that breath, allowing the contact within ourselves and that sense of love. So tuning into your heart now. Breathing in, feeling that light source energy, that connection to your star, and this beautiful golden thread, golden light energy coming down into your body. The beauty is it remembers you. You don't have to do anything. Just relax and make a choice And simply imagining with me that for this call, this being at Uluru, the solar plexus of the earth, this red, red, red dirt. Beautiful energy, strong, emanating energy, where the sun rises, or when we turn to see the sun rise, the land turns golden. The shadows move. And we have a sense of home, a sense of belonging. And with that, we just bring our hand to our heart in gratitude for how each one of us is showing up on this sacred journey of life. And know that we are supported, protected, and guided. And we give great thanks to the ancestors that are here with us for this call. And so just very gently opening your eyes. And I just want to begin with this exquisite prayer that was gifted to us from a woman who's, her name is Kyla Mawson, and she works with bush flower remedies. She literally, the flowers call her. And she came with us for the beginning of the journey and the following Monday. And so she shared with us this beautiful prayer. And I think it's something that we can all just receive in our own hearts. It's a prayer of connection. And it's done whenever you step out on the land, or not even just sacred places, but when you wake up and you step onto your land, you can share this. Sorry, I'm by an airport if you can hear. To the ancestors of this land. Just wait till it passes. We greet and bless you. We are of the same mother and the same father. Nature spirits, earth, fire, air, and water, we are all one. To the brotherhood and the sisterhood of white light, the ascended masters, angels and archangels, and all beings of the light, we ask for your guidance, love, and protection as we tread gently on your land. And with that comes a sense of deep humility and innocence, not leaving our power behind, but simply recognizing that we are all equals here, and we are honoring and respecting that which feeds us and nurtures us. So with that, I'm really happy to be here, Tyson, and forward to seeing what wants to be shared this morning with everybody.
Wow. Thank you very much. So on this journey that you've been on, and the discovery of your connection to the land, I keep seeing you with bare feet. So was there a time that you were in bare feet?
I was in bare feet as much as I could be, except you have to remember that there are some wonderful, interesting snakes, and very, in fact, there's something called spinifex, which is the grasses that grow up around Uluru, and you wouldn't want to be going bare feet on that. So as much as we can, when we came close to the rocks, then we were barefoot.
Yeah,
at least I was.
there's no doubt that Australia has its challenges. There's no doubt that it's not an easy continent in some ways. The snakes are very powerful. The fish you pull from the ocean, a lot of them are poisonous. So yes, one has to try out carefully, but then that's the lesson of mother, isn't it? That to learn how to tread softly, to be aware of each step. And I guess the snakes really help you be in that consciousness about treading softly on Mother Earth.
Well, also just to remember that, snakes, symbol of snakes is about really change, transmutation, metamorphosis, so that they're really a reminder to pay attention to your own inner being, to be aware of what's wanting to shift, despite our comfortability. They put us right, even just the thought of a snake for me, I'm just like, whoa.
Right.
And so it does bring you to that resonance. Yeah.
So I'm curious about, Ayers Rock. Is there, because it's had ceremony done on it for so many centuries, path up it that's worn into the rock?
So here's the deal with Uluru, and it was called Ayers Rock, and there's a lot of growing understanding of really what is the truth about even the names, because our lineage came, and we just decided to name it after a governor or this or that, but there are really sacred names of these sacred places. So as far as the climbing of Uluru, you're actually asked not to climb. And there is the hope that at some point, these posts that are going up, straight up, because people do climb, and it is a traveler's, a hiker's, ideal of doing something like that. But the people of the land, I don't remember the exact date, but a number of years ago, that land was given back to the people, to the Aboriginal people of that land. And they now, cultural center, they're telling people, do not climb. Number one, it is incredibly dangerous. If you had any clue standing below and you looked up, it's just straight up. But also what's happening there is they're really asking you to come into a deeper understanding of the sacredness of that rock and learn the stories. There's some incredible stories about that rock, and a lot of the pictures on the rock itself and the waters. And what's happened up there is that people have climbed just because they want to make this climb, and I'm sure it's an incredible experience. But there aren't any bathrooms up there, and there's a lot of when that water hits Uluru, it goes down into these the waters where the animals feed, where people were originally drinking from. Now there's none of that, and they're in this process of testing the waters. So they're asking people not to go up there because to have respect and for the animals and the land and not climb. So the idea is to really take your time, and yes, you can walk around Uluru. There is so much that's being shared, the stories, all the animal stories, and the understanding. And it was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago that these stories developed. So
Yeah, great answer. I mean, this is what's happening at sacred sites all over the world is that you're not allowed to climb the Mayan temples anymore. There are some specific areas that you can go. The negative of that is, it's really nice if you're respectful to have that experience. The positive side is you have to do it in your mind's eye. So you really have to get out of your body and allow your spirit to have the ceremony experience. And I think there's a great honor in that, and a great recognition that we don't have to experience everything, in a physical body, that a lot of what we are to learn here in this time of transition is to experience it multi-dimensionally, and that doesn't need to all be experienced in our earth suit. So yeah, on one hand it's unfortunate, another way it's respectful, and it's honoring the earth and the stewards of the land, and really that's what your journey's been all about, isn't it? Is really learning from the ancestors what stewardship was and what it is to be as we make this transition.
So I just want to finish up on this one thing about Uluru, because it was never a place that the ceremony would begin with the women below. There are all these sacred places all the way around that people are allowed to experience. Some are still part of the settlement, but it was the men that climbed. The women began the ceremony below, and the men climbed. And you can't even imagine how they would climb up this thing without having a pole or crampons or something. But because it's sandstone. But it was only the men that ever climbed to the top, and it was a part. It was the relationship with the heavens, and that was it. The women actually never went up there, and it was only done at certain times. So that's as much as my understanding takes. So you actually, unless you are an avid, have to climb kind of person, there is so much to be gained. I mean, seriously, Tyson, just by putting your hands, like when we first got there, Martin had us turn around and lay our backs on the rock itself. And that alone was huge. I mean, what each person got, the message that they got was so revealing, and what I realized at the very end, the last day before we were leaving, the last day that we were leaving, I went up to this lookout place where you could see Uluru. And I remember that someone had told me something, and I completely forgot the whole time. And what they said was, it's not the rock itself, it's what's under the rock. And I kept going like, well, what is that? What do they mean by that? And when I got up there, and I just realized that, here's the deal, that Mount Warning on the eastern border of Australia is the place of first light in the whole entire world. When the Earth makes a turn, it is the first part that gathers the light. And it's been spoken that there's a quartz crystal inside of that mountain. And when that first light hits, it sends out through the song lines, which is a really incredible, and it hits Uluru. And from that place, the solar plexus of the earth, all the energy, all the light begins to move through the earth. And so it's a very fascinating, lots to discover about that. But so just my point is that I really have this understanding that it's a telecommunications, just the way we think of, these big towers, towers.
Yeah, cell towers.
So in a sense, it's an organic, natural energy field like that. And you can feel it, and you can gain so much. I felt like we were all being charged just simply by being there, by just being in that energy. And it's a place where we all can connect to, and definitely would go back there. So anyway, that was a long response, but I just felt like it was important to just understand this heart center, solar plexus chakra, the power center. It is a power center in that way.
So is it?
It's the heart. Okay, so it's the heart of Australia.
Okay.
It's the heart of Australia. And it's the solar plexus chakra of the earth.
All right, great. And what a neat combination, eh? I've never thought of that, but yeah, that's such a nice connection between the two, right? Well, the interesting thing is, in the sacred mountains here, I live beside an extinct volcano. Her name is Mount Ida. She's sacred to the indigenous people here in the Nisconlith Band. And traditionally, nobody climbed that mountain. You would do ceremony on a little mountain that's beside her, which is... how a lot of sacred places are not places that you climb or actually physically visit. They're on the spiritual dimension for you to experience in that way. So yeah, very interesting. So was that the culmination of that part of the journey, or what's your next step, or what's up?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that, if anyone had been following our journey, they would know that the first few days were a flood and
Right.
going through a flood, and then it continued raining. And Najma, who had planned this whole journey with us, was not even able to join us until the Uluru, until we went to the center. And so we completed a day and a half ago. We just finished. And we all went our different ways. And for me, I am here sort of deepening and integrating the experience, as well as preparing for one more journey in New Zealand. I'm going back to New Zealand.
You're going back? I didn't hear that last part. Sorry. You're going back what?
I'm going back to New Zealand to another journey.
Right.
To lead another journey.
Right.
Yeah.
So so you have a really ancestral connection to New Zealand, don't you?
But what was really incredible was, especially being with Martin Sampson, and I really encourage people to look at the 2 latest videos that we did in Australia, and I have some more that are soon to go, really weaving this ancestral understanding through New Zealand. So I came from New Zealand, to a 3-week journey in New Zealand, to this journey, the Ancestral Bridge, and then going back. And I feel that it's very, how can I say this? So it's allowing for, it's exactly what's happening in the world. I guess that's the best way to say it, where we're weaving our wisdom to become the future ancestors. Martin talked a lot about that. This ancestral bridge of connecting the inner with the outer, understanding the wisdom that we carry and can carry into the future. So, given the fact that New Zealand has a particular history and of, the White Taha people and some of those understandings, the main thing is, the focus is on all of this is, number one, on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Really on the waters of our being, the waters, how vital it is that we begin to pay attention and for the earth, sing up the song lines. That was real, and that was gifted in New Zealand and brought into the wisdom that was being shared here in Australia, and take it back, so that this openness and receptivity to what we think of as being, Native American or indigenous wisdom, but it's really the wisdom of the ages, how to be and live from that attuned place within ourselves and live a life, sort of legacy of our dreams. Remember our dreaming. So the dreaming, first of all, the dream time was something that somebody made up, and somebody made that up. That isn't actually an Aboriginal, communication. But the dreaming, coming back into the understanding of this history, this essence of living the sort of, it just feels like a really big, in some ways it's a concept, but it's like how to stay attuned to that universal purpose of, it's so funny because I haven't really integrated this. So it's like this humility and understanding of the light and the wisdom and the knowledge that we've carried for the ages. We are the ancestors.
Absolutely.
And when we come from that place and when we wake up each morning, we attune to that, then then there is such a sense of flow and purpose, and our bodies relax. We're not pushing. But, really the Ancestral Bridge journey, to make that choice to be at Uluru on the full moon, was literally a choice to be at the edge of our own horizons, to meet ourselves where, there's some belief that runs within us that we can't be our fullest expression, that we can't live loving another person totally, and how to allow the triggers and to move us and to push us into a clear sense of purpose and passion. I feel like this journey has completely shifted my reality, and some of the ways in which I'm stumbling a little bit, because I feel like it's almost like a deep gravitational grounding that isn't about, you need to keep working, and you need to work, and you need to do this, and you got to do this, and it's something very, very different, and it's like a whispering. It's a soul whispering, and that's what this sacred water wisdom journey, I believe, really did for all of us. It brought us into a deeper resonance and a capacity to be kinder, learn how to and be present.
Well, it certainly ties into, what we're going to be doing, which is, finding the force, which is really helping people discover that we're all on a sacred journey by the mere fact we've incarnated on planet Earth at this particular time. Great.
So there
So
are
for
4
those that are,
songlines.
those that are on the podcast won't know what you holding up. So if you could maybe just describe it a bit.
So I was holding up this. I had this opportunity to connect with this Aboriginal woman, and it was pretty challenging because they don't really trust you, and they need money to live, and it's a very the rubber meets the road there for sure. But the picture I'm holding up is it's a dot painting by this Aboriginal woman named Elizabeth Wilson, and it's showing 4 women standing around Uluru and the 4 song lines that come into Uluru. And Uluru as a sacred gathering place. And I think it's just really depicts, song lines are simply, for me, they're just a light wave frequencies that move energy. They're energy movers. It's generators. So Uluru is a generator, and for me, it's just about love. I mean, it comes down to that. It really comes down to how can we fully love each other? How can we fully love ourselves and be with these wounds? You know, this depicts how the Aboriginals connect with the sacredness of life itself. And they are the holders so that we can come in and feel what that feels like. And it's very tricky because there's a lot of wounds on the earth. And we're being asked to really sing our songs, sing our heart, open up our throat, open up who we are, and allow this energy, like you said, this force of life to move through us and to do what it needs to do. Actually get out of the way and be the most loving conduit of life force. Because that's really the only thing that matters. You can see it everywhere you go. Just being who you are and in love is really the only healer. I was really affected by really seeing and meeting some of these people that are, you know, thousands and thousands of generations old. And, you know, in Australia is the stolen generation where they would take all the children and they've destroyed that lineage we have. But it's not about inflicting more wound. It's like, okay, now how do we come together? So I really feel that this picture, if you're looking, is really it's how the song lines move and how they come together. They bring us together. They show us how to really walk on this land, on this mother. And with that, back to you, Tyson, and thank you. It's just been an incredible journey, and look forward to a deeper integration. And I'm going to just hold up two more things. So the kookaburra and the lyrebird were part of this journey's dreaming, and also the goanna, which is a giant lizard, really opened the way for this journey, which was opening a stargate, and was very much guided by the animal totems. Kookaburra, personal healing, and the lyrebird opening that place of genetic memory. And really that's why you would probably go to Uluru or come on another journey, is to open up that genetic memory, which reminds us who we really are. And with that, our bodies relax and we can keep on connecting with others in such a beautiful way. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you again. And the tail end of your journey, or the tail end of the dragon, or the tail end of the tail, but the new beginnings, right? The earth energies, and how do we work with them? And you know, we'll meet again as we co-write the book together, and we describe how other people can work with these energies. So I know that this has deepened your understanding and your passion and connection to the indigenous peoples of the planet, to the waters of the life, the ebb and flow of the current that flows through the dragon lines, the ley lines, the song lines, the energy lines. And for that, we're truly blessed for you to go and do what you do, to walk on Mother Earth and to learn this from the ancient ones. So thank you for being on the call. And of course, we'll catch up with you wherever you are and wherever you go. So thank you.
Yep. Okay. Bye, everyone. Much love, Tyson.
Bye for now.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.